Okay, I have lost track of what week we are on, but it is June 3rd, or is it 4th? Something like that. It's June 4th or either 5th. I'm not really sure. Anyway, but this is how my garden grows. These are the larger tomatoes that I have growing in the garden. I don't know what happened with that leaf right there. I got to clip it off because you don't want them to, but you can see that I got some tomatoes already showing. Don't know when they'll come through, but this side over here, this is going crazy. Here are my Roma tomatoes, and you can see the Romas are growing. There they are right there, hidden in there. And then these are the German Johnsons on the other side. Remember, I don't know what they are like. I've heard that they're very good tomatoes. Some people I've talked to said that they're really good. But remember how I told you that tomatoes like to hug each other? Look how good the ones in the center are growing. The ones on the outside, they don't grow as well. So they like hugging each other. So I think that was a good idea to put so many in here. But these are the ones where I have all of my Sweet 100s. And you can see where the Sweet 100s have already started vining and nesting, and I'm going to have a whole mess of those probably next week, but you can see them. I love how they go in their little strips, and they'll produce a lot of tomatoes for us to enjoy all summer long. And then here are my cucumbers. I have already been picking cucumbers like crazy. These are the pickling ones. They don't seem to be thriving as well as the bush ones, and the bush ones don't grow very much, but they all have cucumbers on them, and I just finished picking them. Here's my okra. I picked it the other day, and as you can see, it's enjoying living over here too. I've got some okra right there, and I'm going to be picking that probably in the next couple of days. And guess what? So far, everything that I have picked, I've been able to eat. They're not stalky, they're sweet, they're tender. So I'm so excited. I'm expecting a great yield for my okra plants, and they're gonna be happy in this spot. Here are my peppers. You know, I told you my peppers were really struggling because something keeps eating the bottoms of the leaves. I think it is a bunny. I need to get a bunny wrap around this to keep it, but anyway, they do have some blossoms on them, so hopefully they'll be bearing some peppers soon. Basil is loving life over here. The basil with the tomato is even better. Here's the basil over here. You're supposed to keep pinching these flowers off of them when you see them because you don't want them to turn to seed. But they don't seem to be thriving as well as this tomato plant or this basil plant. Where is it? Here's my basil. You can't even see it for the tomatoes, but guess what? The basil loves it over here. So I got a huge basil plant in there, and I've got a huge one over here. So the basil that grows with the tomatoes, they like it better with tomatoes. So that was a test, and I put the basil there for bug resistance, and so the marigolds as well. But anyway, it looks great. My garden is doing great, and I'm so excited. They're gonna have, oh, I missed this one right here. I wanted to show you this huge tomato. It's right there. And that's gonna be my first, that's probably gonna be my first tomato. Anyway, I'm excited. So we've been in the ground since mid-April, and we're doing great. And by the way, for my location is East Virginia. I live on the coast, and I put my plants in early. And most of you have known you've been hearing on the news about how the weather has been crazy, and we haven't decided whether we want winter. But today we're going to have a 90-degree day in Virginia, and we're supposed to have the next 3 or 4 days 90 degrees. But on Monday we're going to plummet down to 70. It is some crazy weather. But anyway, my garden's going to love it these next few days. But overall, this still has thrived the way it should have, even going in early. So I'll post in a couple of weeks.